What's up guys, JayzTwoCents here, and if you saw in my last video, which is gonna pop out here somewhere, maybe, we updated the test bench with a 7980XE, a processor that admittedly I had not been using like the whole time I've had it because of the insane amount of power draw and my concern about it being lesser performing for games when the whole point of a test bench is to test things like graphics cards and such. But if you want to know whether or not that claim actually held true, then go and check out that video. But what we're going to do today is I figured since I've not really done much with this chip and it's been out for a long time and motherboards have been built and BIOSes have been, whatever. Since the BIOS has been updated now and matured, I thought we'd see how well I can actually overclock this chip. Obviously a disclaimer, this was sent by Intel and it's probably a golden sampled chip. So your results are definitely going to vary. But I mean, I'm still gonna push this thing though, far. It might even blow up. EVGA offers a full range of components including video cards, motherboards, power supplies, cases, and peripherals. Regardless of your needs, EVGA is sure to have you covered. To see what EVGA can do for your next build, head to evga.com. Now the whole reason I'm doing this is nothing more than just being an enthusiast thing because I like to overclock, but we're gonna be checking things out here with Cinebench, seeing what kind of scores we can get there, and also 3DMark because I've got my 1080 Ti SC2 on here from EVGA. We'll be overclocking that as well, 32 gigs of Dominator Platinum, and we've got a 1200 watt Platinum power supply and a power meter hooked up so we can see exactly how much wattage is being drawn from the wall with this setup. To be fair, I am not exactly putting things into my favor because I'm also running it through a heavy-duty extension cord, which can cause issues when you're pulling that much power. And also we have other things plugged into the socket where this is plugged into, so yeah, probably not the best way to go about this, but that's never stopped me before. What we need to do obviously here is a base test. So we are running stock frequency, stock everything, and we are drawing 90.9 watts. So we'll just call it 90 watts here from the wall at all stock settings. And once we load up Cinebench, that will obviously rise. Now this 18 core, 36 thread CPU is like 185 watt TDP at stocks, I think 2.6 gigahertz. But yeah, well, obviously we'll be pulling more than that. You can see 201, 261, 262, it's about 262 watts, pretty steady right now with everything factory. And our Cinebench score is a 3,383. You can tell by this little line right there that that's no pleb. That's a Xeon X5650 below it, which is a 12 core, 24 thread CPU. So you can see obviously we blew that out of the water. And that's just with the factory Turbo 3.0 Intel stuff. We should run, I think, 3DMark so that we can see what our scores start at. My goal is to see if I can't get myself on the top 100 again with a single GPU. Probably not going to happen because of all the Titan Voltas floating around out there, but I think we can get pretty high. So we're going to go with 3DMark Firestrike because everyone's kind of moved on to TimeSpy and TimeSpy Extreme, and I'm hoping that most people have just forgotten about regular old lonely Firestrike down here, DX11 test. And I'm hoping that I can get myself on the top 100 because all the Titan Voltas out there are definitely taking up that top spot, and most of those guys are running 7980XEs as well. But research has told me that most of the retail samples are having a hard time hitting 4.0 and higher, and I know for a fact this chip can go farther than that because I ran 4.4 in the last video without even trying, which I didn't even realize was a golden sample until I did research and realized, well, I guess Intel threw me a bone. So let's see where we benchmark and how far higher upper we can go. So our single 1080 Ti running at stock speeds gave us a graphics score of 28,159, a physics score of 23,865 for a total score of 23,640. We are faster than 98% of all results, which is entirely unacceptable. That is not acceptable. Now I am running the EVGA X299 Dark, which is built specifically for this task, and that's why I'm doing this again. Look at the VRM cooling alone. Actual heat sink with a heat pipe, fins, active cooled fans. I mean, it's not just passive cooled like so many motherboards are. A couple things you need to do though, and to keep in mind, obviously you need to have plenty of power supply. This will draw a lot of wattage as soon as you start overclocking it. And you need to make sure that you are running both 8-pin power connectors on the CPU and you need to make sure that your power supply is rated high enough. So I'm actually running a 1200 watt platinum power supply. It's the Gigabyte one. I don't know who their OEM is for that. And so far it's been so far so good. Cooling also is something you need to overbuild. I'm just running my standard 360 with a Evo Supremacy block, water cooled. Admittedly, this deserves like at least a Peltier or LN2 to get anywhere near any sort of top 10 list or something like that. But you should also delit it. These are things I haven't done. So that's why I'm hoping to see how far we can get today without stacking things in my favor. I've got an extension cord, I'm doing water cooling with a standard block. I am not delitted and I'm not chilling it. So I want to see how far we can get. So I'm running Cinebench R15 here just to do some of my preliminary tests. There is obviously a much bigger gambit of testing to look for pure stability, Prime 95, all that sort of stuff. We're not doing that today. We are just seeing where we can get in Cinebench and then in 3DMark. I also like to bring up the task manager to see if there's anything running in the background, like Windows Update, downloads for Steam, because those will all affect your results. So we're gonna go ahead and run it now with a 4.4 and see how much we gained on top of our stock run, which was a 3383. I expect this to be fully stable. Temperatures jumped up into the 60s and 70s on the core, still very good there. This is going to be a significantly faster result. So yeah, we went from a 3383 to a 4347, so almost a 1,000-point improvement by just changing a few things in the BIOS. What I'm also going to show you real quick by doing another run though is just how much more voltage or wattage it's using. So we're idling right now at 175 watts from the wall. If I run this CPU test, watch what's going to happen now to the voltage, or I keep saying voltage, the wattage. 545 watts. Let's just call it 550. 555, that works too. This is why you need to have a clean power source and you need to have good cooling and a very good power supply to run this GPU or this CPU, whatever it is. The thing that makes the computer process stuff. So I'm gonna run 4.5 right now, 561, 562, 560, and our temperatures went up into the 70s and 80s on the core. So we definitely saw obviously an improvement of performance too, of 4438. 4.6. So we had 579 watts during that run, a new score of 4516 at 4.6, and our temperatures are sitting in the upper 70s to low 80s. We're still good, because remember 105 is where we're gonna tell it to chill out. So, all right, I'll stop talking, we'll just do the tests. 4.7, here we go. CPU voltage goes up to 1.240. We're good, temperatures are still sitting in the 70s and 80s. I can deal with this. New score, 4,580. I wish they'd really up the sensitivity of the mouse in the BIOS. 4.8, almost positive I'm gonna have to up the voltage here. CPU in to 2. We're gonna take the adaptive and bump that up to like 75. So now we'll be going up to almost 1.3 volts. I just wanna get through the test without it melting. That's all I care about. 3DMark is not going to stress the CPU as much as Cinebench. 4.8 gigahertz, and here we go. Packages at 91, 92, 94. Cores are still in the 90s and 80s. Nothing hit 100, I think we're good. 4,716 on that. Our max temperature was 97C on the package. Do I dare go for 4.9? 4.9, there it is right there. 4.899, I hate that crap. Watch what happens when I push the button. It's probably gonna crash. Oh, there it goes. But the amazing part is it crashes the application. Application error, more information cannot be found. It's like something happened. Okay, we have pumped in more voltages. I don't think it's gonna work though. Holy hard locked. We hit 99C on the package. Okay, so maybe we need just a little bit more. Bit more. Run. 88, 100, 102, 103, 105, 104. It's throttling. But look, they're hitting 105.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to call it at 4.8 because I can't go any farther. So obviously we're limited now by cooling. because I can't get more cooling in here. So we're back to 4.8. All the extra voltages we adjusted, I moved it back to where we were stable. Now I'm gonna take my memory from the XMP 3466 and I'm gonna bump that up to like 3800. So in Firestrike Normal, you can see how much wattage we were actually pulling during the test. We're about to do the CPU test. This CPU test is not like Cinebench. It does not, I mean, look, we're pulling 440 watts, 447. We're getting 100 FPS though on the CPU test, which is a bit insane. Socket temp's only at 59C, and it's not pulling nearly as much wattage as Cinebench. So my score was 25,858. Graphics score, again, the same 28,931, but 35,019. We went from a 23,000 physics score to a 35,000. We picked up 12,000 with overclocking. What I want to point out at 4.8, we're still sitting in the 60s and 50s as our max temps. So I think I might try 4.9 again on this. Okay, so we've got to get up to 27,765. I don't think that's going to happen. I honestly don't think that's going to happen. So here's what we settled on. A Poseidon, water cooled, because we've seen good results with this card. It hits 2088 on the core, not the fastest I have in here, but the easiest one to get installed at this time. Plus 550 on the memory, giving us 6,100 megahertz times 2, so 12,200 megahertz of memory speed. And we are running 4.9 on the CPU. We dropped the memory down from 3,800 down to 3,600. We just need to make it through 3DMark. That's it. We just need to make it through one run. Just one. Aw, see? What did I tell you? I'm not gaining 3,000 points with this overclock. It's not gonna happen. Nope. So 23,640 was way too low to make it onto the top 100. But then we ended up getting a 27,899, which was good enough to get us into that, like right around the 97-ish mark, I think it was, or something like that. But then we didn't stop there. 28,362. But I wasn't done there, because then I got 4.9 to work well enough to give me 28,731, where if we compare those results online, we are definitely in the better than 99% of all results. We moved from right around here all the way up to there. And if we look at the Hall of Fame, which is what we care about, because that should have updated by now.
Go up more. Give yourself some credit, Jay.
Oh, geez. There I am right there. Number 61, the Canadian JayzTwoCents, because we still don't know exactly how that happened when I was here with Kingpin. That's okay. My father was from Quebec, eh? But that's besides the point. I was well off the bottom of the chart. I wanted to be back on the chart. And here I am now at number 61. It's not delidded. It's through an extension cord. Just a regular 360 water-cooled loop. And the graphics card's water-cooled, but that was barely overclocked at all, too. So yeah, and I like the fact that there are plenty of Titan V's underneath me. This video had no purpose other than me showboating and playing around with some hardware. So guys, thanks for watching, and don't forget, I am giving away a box full of stuff that you know you're gonna want to enter that giveaway. So I'll put a link to that in the description below. And yeah, thanks for watching this completely pointless video, but we had fun making it. We'll see you guys in the next one. Is the silver coming through on camera? No, because apparently I can't talk.